que tienes en estos momentos.
Yes, Gamith. What I want to mention is, well, this is official, as people are mentioning that we are announcing all clear, but we are doing everything officially, and this one is coming from the National Meteorological Service of Belize. We have our advisory as from 6 p.m. today, and if you could do that in Spanish after I've done this in English, Kami. And at 6 p.m. local time, Hurricane Lisa was near latitude 17.5 north, longitude 88.5 west, or about 20 miles west of Belize City. Lisa was moving to the west at 12 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour. A hurricane warning remains in effect for the entire coast of Belize. A flood warning remains in effect for the country, especially northern and central location with the passage of Hurricane Lisa. A small craft warning remains in effect for strong winds and rough seas. All seas vessels should seek and remain in safe harbor.
Exactamente, es el último informe, y estaba mencionando en español, Víctor Manuel, que ya no se va a llevar a cabo esa conferencia de prensa esta noche. Por supuesto, Lisa aún está sobre el país de Belice. En estos momentos déjame hacer la llamada a la señora Carla Álvarez para traernos más información. Tengo un video para que muestren allí en pantalla. Es video a ver en dónde lo había mandado. Video en San Antonio, en el área de San Antonio, vientos fuertes, lo que se estaba experimentando allí, por supuesto. Así que vamos a ver qué es lo que nos indica, la señora Carla Álvarez de NEMO Orange Rock. Vamos a hacer esa llamada en estos momentos, and just reminding that the all clear has not been given as yet. Miss Carla, good night. Good night, Miss Carla, calling from CTV3.
Hi, good night, Ms. Kami.
Yes.
Good night, radio listeners and TV viewers.
Yes. Could you give us an update, Ms. Alvarez, of the situation here in the north, specifically Orange Walk? I know that we were speaking a while ago, and information, of course, is that we are still not out of threat as yet when it comes to Hurricane Lisa, and it was, of course, coming into Orange Walk South. That was like approximately a half hour ago that we had that
Yes.
discussion there.
Yes, yes. Lisa is now with maximum sustained winds of about 75 miles per hour. And I think that those are the winds that we're starting to get, but it's more the south of Orange Rock that is getting the strongest winds and the heavy rain. And also parts of the Kaya district, Bamopan is without electricity. And at least here where we are at the Orange Rock NEMO EOC, we are without electricity. Also, I'm not sure if it's the entire district, but certainly we are without electricity here. We're using, a backup generator. But the reports that we're getting from the villages in Orange Rock South is the heavy rain now and the very strong winds. I know that there are a couple of villages that are also without electricity at this point in time. Obviously, because the hurricane is upon us, we cannot go out, and my plea to everybody is that do not go outside, do not go to try and check to see whether you have all your zinc or whether your dog is okay or things like that. Right now is not the time for that.
Right. What's the situation like when it comes to shelters, Miss Carla? But before you answer that, if we can do a bit in Spanish of what we are experiencing right now in Orange Walk, and what's the status of Lisa. Si lo podríamos hacer en español, por favor, para que la gente entienda exactamente lo que estamos viviendo aquí en el norte del país cuando se trata de Lisa, específicamente en Orange Walk.
Sí, la situación es de que el huracán Lisa está ya por el sur del distrito de Orange Walk y parte norte de ello está en el distrito de Cayo. Entonces, por eso estamos sintiendo estos vientos muy fuertes y también la lluvia muy fuerte. Y está ahorita con vientos de como 75 millas por hora. Entonces, es un poquito... Es un poquito menos de lo que Belice sintió, ¿no? Pero sí, claro, las aldeas que están al sur de Orange Walk están sintiendo mucho viento ahorita y también la lluvia, ¿no? Es muy intensa, es muy fuerte y entonces le estoy pidiendo a todos que ahorita, por favor, no vayan a tratar de salir a ver si está bien su casa o si están bien los perros o ahorita para nada no queremos que nadie salga, ¿no? Y ya se va a poder accesar los daños ya después que pase este huracán, pero ahorita no. Ahorita en este punto no podemos hacer eso.
Have you received any damage to property or to land, or when it comes to the agriculture sector for Orange Walk District? Has NEMO received any information on that as yet?
No, we haven't as yet, and I think because we are just starting to experience, you know, the tropical force winds and also the heavy rain. Obviously, that assessment cannot be done. That assessment will be done after, you know, everything has completely passed us. But we don't know how long that will take. If we compare it to the situation of when it was actually passing through Belize City, it took about 3 hours. So if it continues at that same rate, then we still have quite a bit to go, you know. And obviously, when it passes us completely, then it may be difficult at that point in time to go out. We do expect that we will have flooding in some areas. I really am grateful to you all, Ms. Kami, because you're doing a very good job of, you know, keeping everybody informed. And we have, as you noticed in the last hour, the number of shelterees increased by almost double here in the Orange Walk district. So I'm really glad that I think that the propaganda that we're making in terms of getting people in shelters, it is working. So, you know, that is where people have to remain until, you know, they are sure that their house is safe, that they can return to where they live. And at this point in time, right now we have to focus on ensuring that we are safe, all of us, and then we think about the material possessions afterwards.
Obviously, when we look at Lisa, it's moving, or the last information was that it was moving at 12 miles per hour, and you are setting the example of what happened in Belize City. For it to pass over the Belize district, it took approximately like 3 hours. There has been some misconception, and I think that was brought along when we started informing that there would be a press conference on behalf of NEMO and the National Meteorological Service of Belize. But would you care to clarify that we have not received an all clear as yet? We are still under threat of Lisa, am I right?
Yes, that is right, Ms. Kami. We have not received any information of any all clear, and that all clear will not happen now. I don't want to say that it won't happen tonight, but I doubt it very much that it can happen tonight, because remember that even after Lisa has passed us, and this is what everybody needs to remember, when Lisa has passed us and left the country of Belize, we still have another big problem, and that is more likely going to be the flooding. If you notice with Lisa, and you notice the way that Lisa is passing through Belize, Belize City got a lot of wind damage, and hence the reason why a lot of roofs were lost. And of course, I mean, Belize City is under sea level, so you expect that the water, you know, will rise. But I think here, I mean, when you look at how Lisa is, we are experiencing, and we will, this is what we expected. We expected heavy rain, and that's exactly what we're getting, right? Yes, we're getting some wind, but I don't think the wind is as intense as what Belize City experienced. So with us, it is the heavy rain, and hence the reason we have to be very careful and be cautious of the possible flooding that will come after Lisa has passed.
When it comes to flooding, the areas of concern at this time, where is NEMO focusing on? Here in the center of town, or particularly rural areas, for example, the Albion Islands?
Yeah, we're looking in particular at the Albion Islands. We're looking also in the area of Trial Farm, the area of Carmelita, and you know that those are areas that recently started to flood. So those are the areas that, but I think overall we're looking at all possible areas because this is not just heavy rain. This is a hurricane.
Right.
So it's affecting the entire district, or well, the country per se, right? But like I said, as we expected, the south of Orange Walk would be most affected, and so we have no idea the damage that has been done to the crops, you know, to the agriculture sector, and obviously we can't make an assessment of that right now, and that would have to be done in the daylight also, right? But right now, what we're focusing on is ensuring that those who are at shelters remain there. And nobody can leave any shelter right now at this point in time, except of course if we did shifts earlier in terms of the public officers who are manning the shelters. So even that has already taken place because we were looking at the time or the projected time that the hurricane would actually be very near us, and so we ensured that the shifts were also done earlier.
Right. Okay, Ms. Alvarez, thank you so much for that update, and we will make sure that we, of course, keep in communication with you to learn more about what is happening here in Orange Walk when it comes to NEMO monitoring the situation. Thank you so much, and of course, you guys there, be safe, and thank you for the volunteer work that you all do at NEMO Orange Walk.
Okay, thank you very much to Ms. Kame.
Right, you have it. That's Ms. Carla Alvarez there, specifically saying what the situation is like when it comes to, of course, Hurricane Lisa. No all clear has been given as yet, so we are on standby for that. Let me take this call. We have the Minister